These are the Black Rocks in the south of Kenya's Masai Mara Reserve, where 3 lionesses have raised 9 cubs. Back in September 2017, the babies were just 6 weeks old, 4 females and 5 males. This is the true story of their rise to adulthood. Over 5 years, the young males could grow into a coalition, working together against rivals. First, though, their carefree childhood had to end. Because hunting never comes easy. Sometimes they were lucky to escape with their lives. The route to the top is hard. At 2 years of age, it's time for the lions to quit their creche on the Black Rocks. Their mothers have given birth again. There's no room for them now. These adolescents must look out for themselves. Always hungry, forever sparring over food, the males, stronger than their sisters, don't hesitate to press their advantage. One evening, it gets too much. Racked by hunger, the strongest male kills one of his sisters. The males and females go their separate ways. That makes it harder for the males. They rely on the speedy females to hunt. So the young males try their luck on prey that can't outpace them, but they have no chance against these giants. There is another risk they can take, stealing from veteran lions. That's a mistake. Months later, one of the brothers will be wounded trying something similar. Now he's maimed for life. This time it was just a clip on the ear. They can steal hyenas' prey, so they're always looking out for a chance. Members of the buffalo herd intervene, scaring the hyenas off. It seems the lions have missed their chance. But, danger averted, the buffalo leave their sick comrade. The lions take courage. They're no longer after the hyena's leftovers. They want the entire prize. That should do it. Till the herd come back in force. A new experience for the young males. The cow was so weak that help has come too late. The buffalo soon withdraw. The young lions once again smell success. The lions hold their nerve. They've earned a hearty meal and learned a valuable lesson. The landscape of the Mara Reserve. The brothers patrol here for 2 years. Sometimes alone, often together. Together, they're stronger and safer. By March 2021, the 5 brothers are 4 years old, majestic young adult lions. Without territory of their own, they spend their time in an area roughly 25 kilometers north of their first home. As this leopard knows only too well. They've claimed enough of his prey. The lions have started to attract a lot of attention. And the Masai have given them names to suit their characters. This is Olomina, the lame one. No scars on his face. He neither joins the hunt nor fights. But sexually, he's the most active of all. As an adolescent, he trespassed on other males' territory. Now he has difficulty walking. Olosiadu, the stay-behind. He's a cautious soul, often isolating himself from his brothers. Lorkulup, the tag-along, has a permanently runny nose. They think a buffalo hoof broke the bridge. Constant pain holds him back. With the radio collar, scientists track the brothers. Orpadan, the hunter, always in the lead and first to the prey. Supremely self-confident and relaxed, he's a real fighter. On the left, Oloborr, the sister killer. He's the boss, very self-contained. The strongest male, he can be ruthlessly aggressive. Together, these two define the fate of the group. In the spring of 2021, observers had a surprise: the arrival of the 5 lions' mothers. The females were forced from their territory when a big pride invaded from the east. Actually, the boys are too old to be with their mothers. It's an unusual setup, as the mothers aren't alone. They've brought the young they've been raising in the meantime. 3 young males and 2 females. 13 lions altogether. A formidable group. The young play while the 5 brothers look to their experienced mothers to capture prey for them all. These fascinating new surroundings require thorough exploration. Rambunctious juveniles could warn off prey. At other times, their enthusiasm will come in useful. You wouldn't call this a proper pride. It's more a loose grouping of convenience to hunt together. In every other way, the interests of the mothers and their older sons diverge. For one thing, mating with your half-sisters is out of the question, let alone with your mother. But the brothers' urge to reproduce is growing stronger. The 13 lead a nomadic life, claiming no territory of their own and avoiding other lions. It's May 2021. In the rainy season, the grass is growing fast. That should attract herbivores, but the hungry cats are having trouble finding prey. Finally, they come across a buffalo herd in a valley. A single bull has strayed into bushland next to the stream. The young brothers and sisters are raring to go. They still have to learn a buffalo in broken country is dangerous prey. The powerful males hold back. They're hoping the females will do all the hard work. A one-ton bull is a powerful opponent. Even 13 lions haven't managed to cause him real difficulties. They let him go on his way. East Africa's long rains start in April and continue to the end of May. Right now, there's plenty of food for the herbivores, so they can move to the best places. That means they leave the low-lying wet areas where their hooves could pick up fungal infections. For others, the saturated regions are perfect. Warthogs are truly in their element now. Pastures, hog wallows, and water wherever they look. Antelopes mostly prefer shorter grass. It's especially nutritious, and they can spot predators far away. They often gather for long periods in a small area, trimming the grass with their grazing. In recent decades, heavier rainfall has brought lusher vegetation to the northern Serengeti. Over wide stretches, grass grows over 1 meter high in the rainy season. Since most hoofed animals dislike high, stringy grass, many big cats leave the region too. So the rainy season brings advantages for the rootless lions from Black Rocks. 2 months, hundreds of square kilometers, free of competition. No need to fear territorial disputes with local lions. But it's tough finding prey. For emergency rations, they often turn to warthogs. The problem is, they're hard to spot in the tall grass. Lions and hogs can be tens of meters apart with neither noticing. That's why the lionesses start looking for the holes hogs use at night. In the early morning, many are still occupied. It's not that they're places of protection. Young hogs are very sensitive to cold, and the holes are there to keep them warm. This one's in deep. It's not going to be easy to reach. Digging it out is hard work, and hogs can be unpleasant adversaries. While the young hunters hesitate, a lioness keeps watch. In the rainy season, boars seek females in estrus, especially near holes kept in constant use. And here's a hopeful Romeo. In her time, the female has caught hundreds of hogs. She knows exactly what to do. Another female blocks the escape route. It's over in seconds. Everyone piles in. As so often, Oloborr the strong takes his lion's share. The others know the rules. A pride male's duty is to protect the young. In this grouping, however, the males have no offspring to protect. The females get nothing back for their hard work. In the long run, that will be a problem. With so few animals to hunt, the young lions will chase anything that moves. Hunger takes them into unfamiliar regions where they could easily meet other lions. They're very unsettled. For weeks they dare not cross the Rongai River. That might mean entering another pride's territory. But curiosity and hunger finally get the better of them. They must have a powerful urge to cross. These cats do not like water, especially when it's deeper than expected. All that effort, only to discover the hunting is no better on the other side. One morning, they come across a single hippopotamus that hasn't reached the safety of his usual pool. This arouses the brothers' hunting instincts. This prey can't run away from them, but it may turn the tables. Each lion is probing for weakness. It's almost like a game. Interestingly, the females hold back, almost as though they're not sure of this one. The younger brothers and sisters are excited. What are the tactics? The hippo has to stay on his feet. If he does, little can happen to him for now, beyond a couple of scratches. But after a while, it gets too much for him. He leaves the small pool. It wasn't really keeping him safe. He has momentum, and he makes for the nearby bushes. This is a dangerous situation for the lion. The massive hippo could swing him into the trees. But Orpadan can't let go now. A hippo weighs 6 times more than a lion. But Orpadan has a firm grip on his hindquarters and brings him down. Briefly. Down, but not out. Unable to restrain their offspring, the mothers half-heartedly join in. They know they must exhaust the hippo until he passes out. Another hour, The hippo is steaming. These huge animals have difficulty releasing the enormous heat generated by their muscles. But his circulation seems to remain stable. He fights his way from pond to pond, always finding a new place to cool off. After hours of combat, the lions are exhausted, taking longer and longer breaks, but they can swap with each other and so keep the pressure up. Who will reach their limits first? This pond protects the hippo's flank. The big cats must watch out in the thorny thickets. Even the stubborn young females are gradually tiring. The fight has taken almost 6 hours. The hippo hasn't left a decisive opening. Hippos rarely fall victim to lions, and they're not high on a lion's prey list, even in hard times like this. Finally, it's a draw. Both parties, side by side, exhausted. The hippo will live on. Wherever the lions look, buffalo are the only reliable food source, with 3 herds moving through the high, stringy grass along the Rongai River. Most herbivores wouldn't eat this grass, and they would avoid this place, but these wild cattle are comfortable chewing and digesting the fibrous vegetation. A herd can be 800 strong, limitless meat. But the price? Buffalo are tougher to hunt than other herd animals, not only because of their size. It has to do with their social structure. Herds consist of closely related cows, accompanied by bulls who have joined from outside. So a buffalo herd isn't an agglomeration of individual animals, but a community, aunts, sisters, and cousins with their young. Unlike antelopes that swap between herds and show no solidarity, buffalo support one another. And yet, in every big group, there are some who can't keep up, or are simply too careless, peeling off to go their own way. The lions have spotted a female on her own. She noticed them too late. They surround her out of the high grass. Working together, they distract the cow so she can't use her lethal horns. One of the lionesses dares a frontal attack. She needs to grip the cow's muzzle. The brothers hold back, letting the mothers get on with the dangerous work. "500 meters away, the herd is grazing. Buffalo have poor eyesight, but the cow's bleating attracts their attention. The cavalry's coming. You don't mess with angry buffalo. Even Orpadan knows that. All that wasted effort. The lions have nothing. They'll have to keep following the herd in hopes of a better chance. At least the yellow-throated longclaw gets something. Trampled grass is perfect nest material. Lions are powerful but slow, so they have to concentrate on the bigger prey animals. Buffalo too depend on their strength, but also on their solidarity. A kind of balance has grown between the two species. Aerial views show groups of friendly buffalo coming together, close relations behaving like a big family. This group solidarity is surprisingly effective. Seriously ill, even blind buffalo are protected by their family groups. They survive, carried along by the community. On the move, a herd functions like a single organism, with pathfinders and animals to defend the flanks, and also stragglers. Like this elderly male, he's frail, and he needs longer rest stops. The hungry lionesses are doing what they must, following the herd, watching for gaps in the security system, or for stragglers that lost contact with the herd. Like the old bull that rested a bit too long. In the late afternoon, he seeks to rejoin the herd. That's the lioness's cue. He's old. His eyes and ears are way past their best. The females easily lay their trap. The younger females are first. They're the hungriest, least aware of the dangers. Oloborr and Orpadan are away, checking out the territory. The lionesses and their daughters must bring the buffalo down on their own. Only then do Lorkulup and Olosiadu deign to join. Olomina holds back entirely, as usual. The females are generous. There's enough food for several days, so they won't be arguing over shares. Almost every day brings a heavy rain shower. The lions trail through saturated plains after the buffalo. They lost contact in the night. They've been searching for hours. The rain has washed away the tracks. In this undulating country, 500 buffalo can simply disappear. The lions can see as far as the next hillock. Late in the morning, they re-establish contact. Now they take their time studying the herd across the valley. Looking for calves, born during the rainy season. Sometimes a mother and her calf get separated from the bigger group. That's what the lions are waiting for. Even 13 lions couldn't grab a calf inside the herd. But there's a small group of stragglers. The cats try to spin off the defenders, breaking up the formation. In the turmoil, Oloborr grabbed a calf, but the defenders are here at once. He has to let go to save his life. The badly wounded calf won't survive. The lions have time. They encourage the herd to move on. This prey is far too small for the group. Once again, Oloborr becomes violent. These outbursts of rage are becoming unbearable for the three mothers. They gain nothing from being with their powerful sons, but they can no longer drive them out of the territory as they did before. The only solution may be to split off from the males. June. The rainy season is over. The five brothers are now confident enough to advertise their presence far and wide. It seems there are no other claims on this region. Oloborr and Orpadan are often away together patrolling. They rarely see their mothers and their younger siblings. Luckily, the five brothers haven't yet encountered the previous pride males. But they noticed them a long time ago. Two old males. For years they defended their territory by the river, and they bear the scars to prove it. They no longer have the confidence for a direct confrontation, and they withdraw. If they don't get into fights, they can survive for several years in their old territory. They leave the interlopers to get on with it in this difficult but rewarding territory. For several months of the year, the Rongai River flows, attracting herbivores. Buffalo herds use the valley all year round, almost guaranteeing the lion's survival. The two veterans live quietly in the bush near the stream, scavenging other predators' prey or digging out the occasional warthog. But the real owners of this territory are three adult females and their adolescent offspring. They conquered and now defend the region. Every couple of years, they take new pride males. Now the five brothers are here, and the first couplings soon happen. This union might not yet produce offspring, but for the brothers, it's the first step to claiming the territory as their own. Lame Olomina can't keep up with his brothers. They won't let him approach their new partners. But he too feels the growing urges. So he tries his luck with his half-sisters and aunts. That, understandably, doesn't go down too well. The lionesses of the Rongai River, on the other hand, seem content with the new situation. But there is a problem here. The 3 females already have adolescent offspring, 3 daughters and a son. The new masters of the valley might not take to the young male. And Oloborr has already noticed his presence. The young male is scared. But he'd like to stay with his mother. Oloborr doesn't see it that way. Oloborr could hurt the adolescent badly, but his mother's presence holds him back. And she definitely takes her son's side. Powerful older lions would normally not hesitate to crush a young whippersnapper. But Oloborr's hold on his territory is too new. This is just a demonstration of power. Over the next few days, the Rongai River is a turbulent place. But not principally because of the brothers. The territory still belongs to the 3 females, and they reject the lionesses that came with the 5 males. Again and again, they chase away the mothers of the 5 brothers. The mothers can't compete with their confident female rivals. They leave the Rongai Valley forever, ending the short reunion with their sons. Oloborr and his brothers are now truly in control. It means weeks of uncertainty for the 3 daughters and the son of the Rongai Pride females. Relieved sisters welcome their brother back to the group. So far, he's made it without serious injuries. The young females have nothing to fear from the big males. After all, they're potential future partners. but they keep their distance for the time being. Over the coming weeks, they wander the edges of their mother's territory. Since they're not yet sexually mature, the 5 brothers ignore them. The adolescent male is still a potential rival. He must be careful. The 2 strongest brothers, Oloborr and Orpadan, roam far and wide, leaving their markers everywhere, new lords of a big territory. By mid-2021, they control almost 100 square kilometers. The lionesses' Rongai River territory, and the great expanse of plains to the south, where the buffaloes spend the rainy season. Orpadan and Oloborr are responsible for security. Day after day, they patrol the edges of the territory, far from the rest of the pride. Oloborr still has the blonde mane of a young lion, but together with Orpadan, he's the dominant male of the pride. He's constantly venturing into foreign territories. One day, he goes too far, deep into a neighboring pride's domain. For the dominant males there, it's a massive challenge. Oloborr sees them too late. Too late to flee. This could be the end. He seems paralyzed by fear. He mustn't provoke them any further. Things have gone too far. There are iron laws among lions. Oloborr has transgressed. He's mauled to within an inch of his life. He'll be out of circulation for months. A severe setback for the newly formed pride, but the brothers must go on. And soon there's an important development. The wildebeest migration streams through the territory, bringing relief from the precarious dependency on buffalo. But when these herds leave again, the lions face the ultimate test against their arch-enemies, the buffalo. At 4 years old, 5 brothers patrol their territory in the Mara Reserve. This is Olomina. A leg wound when young left him with a limp. Olosiadu, cautious, quiet, reserved. Lorkulup, A hoof broke his nose. Now it never stops running. The hunter, Orpadan, always out in front, first at the prey, a true fighter. Beside him, Oloborr, sibling killer, unchallenged clan chief, aggressive, ruthless, reckless. The Mara Reserve is in Kenya, along its border with Tanzania. It's the northern extension of the Serengeti. This is where the five brothers have settled after years of wandering. The narrow Rongai River. Now, at the end of June, there are few prey animals here, except buffalo. Oloborr, the chief, has almost recovered from a mauling by neighboring males. With Orpadan, he shadows the buffalo herd, looking for isolated animals. If the buffaloes stay close together, the lions will never reach the weaker calves. After hours of waiting, they try a fake attack to scatter the herd. But the buffalo know what to do. They turn the tables. It's a tough time for the lions. Hardly any prey animals worth pursuing, apart from the buffalo. The five brothers command a territory that belongs to 3 lionesses, who themselves wrested it from other lionesses, defending it for years against female competition. They are the actual owners. The males only maintain their claim on the females and keep other males at bay. That's what they need their mass and their muscles for. As hunters, they're really only effective against bigger and slower prey. June brings the first zebra herds into their territory. For them, the tough, tall grass is perfect. They're a welcome sight, and now the new lion lords are more than happy to defer to their ladies. At last, an alternative to the dangerous buffalo. The slight, streamlined lionesses are far more agile than the bulky males. So it's not just laziness when the males leave this kind of work to the females. Even in the long grass, it would be hard for a fully grown male to creep up on the prey. A lioness sneaks to within meters of an unsuspecting zebra. About 10 meters, perfect range for a surprise attack. And the zebra has absolutely no idea. The females aren't just doing the work, they're taking the risks too. Accurate kicks break bones. The black-shouldered kites have seen it all before. They have something else on their mind. This couple have only just come together. In this first phase of courtship, aerobatics are a display of fitness, as each seeks a partner to bring up a family. In June, fires blaze through the grassland. They were started by park rangers to burn up the tough, stringy grass and encourage fresh new growth. Still damp at this time of year, the vegetation releases great clouds of smoke and steam. When fires are set responsibly, there's little damage to the land. In fact, they make for better grazing, at least for a while. But at the same time, it's a gamble. New growth only appears if new rains come on time. When the rains are late, it's hard for the herbivores. Then square kilometers of earth are covered in ash, and there's no food for anyone. When the buffalo move on, the lions must follow their prey. In a situation like this, the choice is unattractive. Starve where they are, or risk trespassing on others' territory. The serval, too, has a problem. Even hunting mice is difficult in these conditions. Everyone is waiting for the rains. As soon as they come, the first shoots force their way up between the red-scorched ebony bushes. The land transforms into a patchwork, newly verdant burned areas next to yellow fields the fires, often halted by a brook, couldn't reach. Life on the unburnt parts continues as usual. For the serval family, long grass is especially important. The mother finds mice here, and the young cover from predators. An old tree like this is a wonderful climbing frame. The cubs are very exposed, but they can disappear in an instant down below. And their mother can return to stalking mice without worries. And these neighbors are no problem anyway. Dry, fibrous grass may be useless to most herbivores, but the mother serval finds exactly what she needs. Her young will have enough milk now. For weeks, the territory the five brothers took over is bare. They don't mind. They're busy befriending the 3 females they won with the territory. New relationships take time. Oloborr's excursion to neighboring territory was 6 months ago. His wounds have healed with just a few scars, but the attack seems to have damaged his testicles. He's less interested in mating than before. He leaves the females to his brothers. He's still closest to Orpadan. They patrol together, leaving hundreds of scent marks to deter interlopers. Inside the territory, there are still half-brothers and sisters their mothers left behind when they departed. It's July 2021. 4 of these adolescent half-siblings still live here along the Rongai River. 2 males and 2 females. They avoid their older brothers, who ignore them too. They scratch along with small kills and by scavenging others' prey. They're too young to challenge a fully grown buffalo. That doesn't mean they won't try. It'll take a little while yet. Oh, never mind. The 2 females have a crack at a warthog. That's not so easy either. There's good cover for the chase, but it's hard to run down a nimble hog in tall grass. Hungry times. But relief is on its way from the south, across the border in the Serengeti. It's now late July. On the far side of the Sand River, the long-awaited columns finally appear. The wildebeest migration is at the Kenyan border. Endless columns, hundreds of thousands of wildebeest streaming into the Masai Mara Reserve. It's an astonishing sight. But since the early 2000s, numbers seem to have dropped. Conservationists worry because they have no reliable figures. It's been more than a decade since Tanzania released census statistics. Those figures are really needed now because climate change and the growing human population around the Serengeti are putting pressure on the park. Wildebeest are the keystone species of the grasslands. All the great carnivores depend on them. The trek through the Serengeti's ecosystem is the last great animal migration on Earth. A huge tourism industry depends on these numbers. This is the high season in the Masai Mara. And yet, only 1/3 of the wildebeest actually cross the border. Twice as many stay on Tanzania's side. Climate change, heavier rainfall in the south, may mean they no longer have to move here for food. Most lions are tied to their territory. Few will follow the wildebeest. Only the so-called nomads, with no fixed territory, continuously pursue the herds. This means local predators like the five brothers now face little incoming competition. The sudden abundance is theirs alone. That means a couple of carefree months. Lions prefer to hunt where the fires haven't reached and the high grass conceals them. But wildebeest don't like eating it, and they don't linger. So the best hunting is in the first weeks of the migration. The lions get straight down to it. Wildebeest, though, are not quite the passive, clumsy victims. They have a real turn of speed. They know how to deal with lions. Overall, they're well equipped to handle the trials of life. They're the most successful species of this ecosystem, by far. The northern Serengeti is wetter than the grazing lands further south. Many streams and rivers erode the Mara region, leaving rolling country with dips and valleys. It's dangerous terrain for herbivores. Big cats are more than comfortable in its deceptive contours. To use the full resources of the Mara region, the herds must cross a number of rivers flanked with gallery forest and bushland. Wildebeest are built for all terrains. These are no obstacles. But the crowds and the confusing landscape let predators sneak up unobserved. Losses are unavoidable collateral damage. The herd simply moves on. The biggest threat are hyenas. They pursue their prey till it's completely exhausted. And no wildebeest will stop to help another. Lorkulup, he of the broken nose, sees what's going on. The hyenas see him coming, and so do the wildebeest. Hyenas know an adult lion means danger. A lioness will chase them away. A male will try to kill them. They won't argue. Lorkulup eats his fill. These weeks, the five brothers will kill only a tiny proportion of their food. They'll steal or scavenge the rest. The wildebeest migration brings them more than they need. The lions regain their strength. Fire-refreshed, glowing grasslands host hundreds of thousands of animals. Even without the predators, sick or weak animals die every day. The scavengers are well catered for. Every morning they gather for the night's harvest. Today, the flock of vultures have an unexpected guest. A male Kori bustard, Africa's largest flying bird. Its delicate table manners seem out of place here. Great bustards pick mainly at fruits and seeds, but they don't turn up their bill at a little morsel of meat. Those raised tail feathers show he's in the mood for mating. And that marabou standing tall in front of him looks like a rival. That's something no self-respecting bastard can tolerate. To the stork, all this is simply too silly. But the bastard won't let up. So the marabou finally just ignores the cock. The brothers are enjoying the easy life. As long as there are no powerful lions to challenge them, they can take anything they like. Whoever actually killed it? Black-backed jackals get most of their food the same way. But there's a family issue here. This cub really ought to start fending for himself. His parents are trying to make that very clear. They don't mean him any harm, but he's no longer welcome in their territory. They're literally pushing him away. While hyenas await the scraps from Oloborr and Orpadan's stolen breakfast, the parent jackal is getting ever more annoyed with its adolescent offspring. But it would seem a nagging parent is preferable to scary independence. They really have to insist. His time is up. Oloborr's mother once cast him out the same way. Many sons of carnivores suffer this fate, which doesn't make it feel any less of a rejection. As the day warms up across the savannah, the lions have almost finished their breakfast. Time to seek a shady place to rest. Nothing but scraps left for the real hunters. And now the jackals are getting cheeky too. Sometimes you just can't win. Now, lame Olomina claims the privileges of an alpha male, even if the lioness doesn't seem quite convinced he's earned it. But something's a little awry here. Her teats are full. That would normally mean she's lactating. And 2 kilometers away, 3 tiny babies are hidden in a den. They're hungry, waiting for their mother. But Olomina won't let her go to them. For too long, he's had no opportunity to mate, weakened by his wounds. The lioness has just given birth to his brother's young. But a rare hormone imbalance has made her receptive again. It's an unexpected chance for Olomina, as his brothers are no longer interested. The lioness is beside herself and wants only to return to her cubs, but he keeps forcing her back. Forced couplings often happen after a territory takeover, but that was 5 months ago. For a few days during her pregnancy, the lioness was compliant. Olomina exploited that. Now it's dangerous for the newborns. Torn by conflicting instincts, the lioness moves away, followed by her suitor. She shelters from the heat of the day next to a small brook. When Olomina is briefly distracted by the elephants, she seizes her chance. This is the moment to disappear. She finally makes it to the den and her pregnant sister, but she's slow to approach the babies. The abandoned Romeo, free of the elephants, stubbornly follows her tracks. When he reaches the den, he's more cautious. Perhaps he's already had a bad experience here. Meanwhile, the little ones are starving. The mum they waited for so patiently doesn't exactly greet them warmly. Her hormones are desperately out of kilter. Side swipes alternate with gentle licking. The usual way of stimulating a baby's digestion. Olomina's presence is making things worse. Abashed, shameful, he withdraws. Olomina may sense the situation is explosive. He holds back. For the babies, it's an emotional roller coaster. They need their mother and her milk. But she veers between affection and brusque rejection. Hungry, scared, the little ones creep between the adults. It's like running a gauntlet. There's no sanctuary anywhere. Even their mother's sister heavily pregnant herself, is in no shape to look after another's offspring. The cub's life is hanging by a thread. This time of year, September, is still supposed to be rather dry. But in the northern Serengeti, unscheduled showers are nothing unusual. A rainstorm disturbs a martial hawk eagle's meal. Not far away is the huge expanse of Lake Victoria. Vast quantities of water evaporating every day can return as rain, making the Masai Mara especially attractive to migrating herds in the dry season. Heavy rain showers are dangerous for tiny lion cubs. Right now they need all their strength. Thankfully, their mother's hormone levels have settled. She can care for her young in the normal way. She carefully carries her cubs away from the den. It's become too wet. Olomina hasn't bothered her for 3 days now. Everything seems to be all right. But the lame lion's obsessional behavior has claimed a victim. Only 2 of the 3 cubs are still alive, and they must survive any more hormonal swings over the next few weeks. The rain has turned the once charred plains a brilliant green. Yet with their heavy muzzles, the buffalo have trouble plucking the fresh shoots. Nevertheless, this is still a good time for them. The migrations have brought them weeks of freedom from the lions. The wildebeest are far easier prey. Young bull buffalo can enjoy friendly skirmishes, play fights. The mothers can relax too. Amongst all the wildebeest, even the warthogs can take it easy for a while. And except for the buffalo, all the hooved animals love the juicy short grass. But soon the great migration must continue back to the southern Serengeti. The deadly power struggle between lions and buffalo will begin again. The female that Olomina harassed for so long seems to be at peace. The 5 brothers' first offspring are doing well. The lioness stays away from the fathers as far as she can. It's not clear how they will interpret their unfamiliar paternal role. They watch and wait. Their curiosity grows from day to day. Oloborr, mighty leader of the five, cautiously nears the bush where his first children are hiding. Their mother must still be approached carefully. He's especially docile today. Sometimes she seeks close contact. Other times she's uncontrollably aggressive. At the sight of their young guarded by their erratic mother, the Pride Kings seem rather subdued. They're curious, but they can't seem to find a confident way to relate to their new family. The female seems uncomfortable with the males. Their presence disturbs her, and there's no sign of them moving on. So, she just moves house again. There are plenty of suitable places to stay along the river. She knows them all and soon finds a new home. Oloborr, meanwhile, re-establishes his territorial rights. For the lioness, the stream is more than just another place to hide the cubs. It's the grass and the water. Perfect conditions for wildebeest. They love the juicy shoots, so some herds walk to the brook every day. Hearing the baying of wildebeest, the lioness benefits from all the years she's spent here. Quickly she slips into position without arousing the attention of the herd. A herd offers safety in numbers, but not equally. Animals at the rear are slowed by those in front. Wildebeest are easier to hunt than buffalo, not only because they're lighter. They would never turn round as a group to protect each other. No one comes to help. Olosiadu, the cautious, had his beady eye on the pride females. In minutes he's on the spot. He knows this female can be sensitive and lets her eat alone. He'll get his lion's share later. All pride males steal the female's kills. But in exchange, they protect the pride young against any threat. Without this protection, a lioness could rarely raise her cubs to independence. That's the deal between the sexes. But today he waits until she's had her fill and is on her way back to the young. Soon, the land belongs to the locals. Late September. In the short rainy season, wildebeest leave the Masai Mara for the mineral-rich plains of the southern Serengeti. When the last columns cross the Mara River, the balance of power changes. Now the lions confront their most formidable adversary. The brothers must prove that they have what it takes to hold territory all year round. And the tensions between them are rising. May 2022. 4 brothers patrol the grasslands of the Masai Mara Reserve along the Rongai River. The 5th, Olosiadu, the cautious one, hasn't been seen for months. This is Olomina. He was lamed in an attack when young. Lorkulup. Since her hoof struck the bridge of his nose, it's constantly running. Orpadan, always out in front, first at the prey, a real fighter. Beside him, the sister killer, Oloborr, the unchallenged leader, strongest, most ruthless and aggressive of the brothers. Orpadan and Oloborr determine the fate of the group. It's the time of the long rains. Lush grass covers broad swathes of the savannah. The small pride the brothers formed with 3 lionesses has proved stable, and Lorkulup finally got rid of his annoying radio collar. 3 daughters of the pride females also run with the group. They're still too young to mate. Of the brothers' first offspring, only 1 cub has survived, haggard and thin. Two other sisters mated with the brothers, but there's no sign of any other young. Months ago, the wildebeest left the Masai Mara for the southern Serengeti. The only big prey now are buffalo. Most of the gazelle and antelope have gone. They can't eat the tough, tall grass, and it hides the hunters too well. The lion pride are emaciated, constantly on the lookout for anything edible. Once in a while, there's a warthog. But warthogs are cautious, so difficult to catch. Quick to disappear behind a curtain of stalks. Whether the lions like it or not, only the buffalo stand between them and death by starvation. As soon as a herd enters their territory, the lions shadow them. Head-on attacks are pointless. In the early morning dew, a lioness finally spots an opportunity. A buffalo cow has fallen behind. A lioness on her own doesn't seem too dangerous. But as she dips to gore her with her horns, the cow offers a target. Her vulnerable muzzle. And reinforcements are on the way. They'll have to be quick. The herd is close by. Buffalo don't see well, but the cow's bleating has alerted them. And now they've scented their deadly enemies. When another lioness arrives, the buffalo finally swing into action. Unlike the rest of Africa's hooved animals, buffalo don't abandon each other when in trouble. Time for the lionesses to save their own skins. The hunters hunted. Angry buffaloes scatter the lions. While dozens of others shield the injured cow, encouraging her back on her feet. In a remarkable display of solidarity. The nimble subadult daughters of the pride make themselves useful distracting the angry buffalo. A lioness exploits the weak eyesight of her pursuer and escapes into the grass. Two of the adult males, Olomina and Lorkulup, are here as well. Not so brave. They too run away. The cow is blooded, but fully protected. No lion will get through here. The big four males' younger half-brothers, also close by when the attack started, are pulled into the tumult. This one's in a tight spot, but he holds his own. just. The others don't cover themselves with glory either. They're all lucky to escape the vengeful buffalo. The wounded cow is back on her feet, following the rest of the herd. There's no desire to linger in this dangerous place. The exhausted lions play a waiting game. They know the drill. Herd solidarity doesn't last forever. The buffalo move on, and soon the traumatized cow will be on her own again. Even lame Olomina plucks up courage now. It's Lorkulup, not exactly the bravest of warriors. He's going in for the kill. And finally, his brother, lame Olomina, hobbles in too. The lioness's adolescent daughters join the feast. But Lorkulup's and Olomina's younger half-brothers are not welcome, even though they helped distract the angry buffaloes. Their mothers are long gone, and the boys have no protection in this pride. They're just vying for the same food as their elders. Lorkulup makes that clear one more time. The youngsters know the rules and wait. They'll get the leftovers. Many young males survive this way. The four brothers' stepson must be even more careful. Just don't infuriate the adult males. That's the most important rule in lion prides. The young stepson, he's the offspring of one of the pride females, can't find a place anywhere. Lorkulup and Olomina make that perfectly clear. The fault lines in the pride are becoming obvious. The young half-brothers get on better with their elders. They grab a few scraps without too much conflict. Missing from the banquet are Oloborr and Orpadan. They're out on patrol, securing the boundaries of the territory. They spend little time hunting, leaving that to the lionesses. Lorkulup has joined them today. Generally, he and Olomina spend more time with the females. But the fifth brother, Olosiadu, is notable by his absence. Always the cautious hangback. In March 2022, he disappeared, possibly killed by herdsmen after attacking their cattle. This is happening more and more in the Masai Mara as cattle are increasingly driven into the reserve to graze. In the soggy landscape, buffalo are now the lion's mainstay. They're lion's most important prey in many parts of Africa. But poaching has decimated buffalo herds. Combined with territory loss, this is a crucial factor in the decline of Africa's lions. When the mothers of the four brothers departed and returned to their old territory, they left behind their sons' younger half-brothers and sisters. Sometimes these 2-year-olds are joined by their stepbrother, the local lioness's son. All about the same age, already quite skilled hunters. They have to be careful tackling buffalo. They're all at a disadvantage in the pride. The 4 adult brothers treat the young males as competitors, and they chase their young sisters away because they're not available for mating. But by keeping invading lions at bay, these 4 pride chiefs give all the members something like a safe haven. So the adolescents muddle through, trying to catch their own prey. Nothing doing here. But they can still get in a bit of practice. The rainy season is when buffalo calves are born. Many carnivores keep a close eye on the herds now, mostly in vain, but with births every day, there are always some morsels, afterbirths, stillborn calves, providing small but easy meals. Mothers of newborns often find themselves surrounded by hungry hyenas. So the cows are constantly on alert. But calves don't always sense the danger. The local hyena pack are now gathered close to the herd. Very disturbing for the cows. But the hunters are holding back. They've picked up a scent, the wet skin of an afterbirth. Just a few mouthfuls, but better than nothing. Most births happen in the morning. For a few hours, there's more and more on offer. On these days, there's a constant tension in the air. The smallest mistake can be lethal. Compared to young antelope, buffalo calves are rather ungainly. It can take them up to an hour to get to their feet. If the herd starts to move, mother and young can be left behind. Some mothers prefer to split away from the herd to give birth. It's a risky choice. A single mother on her own might not be spotted, but if she's seen, she's in desperate danger. Still exhausted from labor and surrounded by more than a dozen hyenas. Humble scavengers are suddenly determined hunters. For the calf, the situation is hopeless. Even the mother can't be sure of getting out alive. She resists for more than 30 minutes. The hyenas swap roles, trying to exhaust her. But then, the tables are turned. Another cow appears, starting a counterattack. With more buffalo moving in, things are going to get tough for the hyenas. The buffalo are protecting the members of their own extended family. That's something all cattle-like grazers do. With no more than a few scratches, mother and child return to the safety of the herd. Those tempting calves are anything but easy prey. But the subadult brothers and sisters must keep on trying. They'll just have to be cleverer than the hyenas. A frontal attack won't work. They'll have to wait for their chance. Right now, the stepbrother is still hanging out with the other adolescents. He doesn't really belong with them, but he'd have very little chance on his own. The young lions know the herd will wander down to the stream as the day warms up. It's cooler down there, and the grass is greener. Time for a refreshing drink and a wonderful bath. The lions wait patiently. They know the ungulates are so absorbed, a chance could arise at any moment. The valley floor is rich in minerals, and the dissolved salts make the pools all the more attractive. These luxurious wallows aren't just for the buffalo. A sounder of warthog appears, distracting the buffalo further. The buffalo really don't want to share their precious mineral water. Splitting up, the lions descend separately to the stream. The overheated hogs finally found their spot for a soak. While two young males steadily observe the buffalo. They may get lucky. Separated from its mother, an injured calf limps after a bull. But the calf disappears into the long grass. The mating season is near. Some bulls are already feeling the urge. One more distraction that helps the lion. Now, where's that calf? As they hoped, it hasn't gone far. It all happens so fast, so silently, the herd hasn't noticed a thing. In this confusing terrain, hunters and hunted are quickly gone. Inside the herd, life continues as if nothing had happened. A little deeper in the valley, the adolescents squabble over the prey. The stepson has had little to eat over the past few weeks. He can't assert himself against the pride chief's younger brothers. There's no point in hanging with them, so he leaves. He has other problems. The four brothers don't want him in their pride at all. Right now, Oloborr, Olomina and Orpadan are tracking him down. The young lion has been seriously hurt attacking a buffalo. 2 deep, fresh horn wounds on his shoulder. Proof again that buffalo hunting is dangerous, especially if you're inexperienced. His sisters are now fully integrated into the pride, but they can't help him. It looks like things are going to flare up again. The young females make sure they don't get drawn in. Olomina lets his stronger brother do the disciplining. The balance of power is clear. Oloborr won't have to resort to bites that could hurt the wounded adolescent even more. As usual, Olomina is more interested in the females. They want nothing to do with him today. So, Olomina tries to show off by punishing the adolescent himself. But the young male is more than capable of seeing him off. No lioness leaps to his defense. The stepson's time with the pride here at the Rongai River has run out. He has to leave. The 4 other 2-year-olds also keep their distance from their older brothers. The 2 sisters will soon go their own ways, leaving the valley in their turn. But for a while they stay, for the buffalo. At the end of May, as the rainy season ends, the bull's behavior becomes increasingly strange. They rub against bushes and loll in the grass for hours. Spreading their scent and displaying their massive bodies to impress rivals. Ramming is the most intense confrontation as older bulls dispute their status. The biggest body mass usually takes the title. Lions better keep clear. There's no fooling with these guys. The bulls are so agitated because cows are becoming receptive. When a younger bull sees a chance to pursue an interesting cow, chaos follows. Hierarchy between bulls was established long ago, but the weaker ones never miss an opportunity to weasel their way in. Cows are almost crushed by boisterous suitors. To be freed from their admirers, all they can do is seek out dominant bulls. A high-status bull sweeps the challengers aside. But the put-upon cow has little rest. The boss has to intervene several times to impose some respect. And he doesn't go gently. If it gets too tough and no savior appears, the cow lies down to give the bulls time to cool off. A rumpus like this will go on for hours. Some contenders try to improve their ranking at the last minute. But to rise in the hierarchy, you have to take part in hundreds of these battles over years. Once again, the senior bull brings the inflamed youth to his senses. That doesn't necessarily help the idolized female. The aspirants don't give up. It's an exciting time for all, the high point of the year. On the days the females are most receptive, the strongest bulls take over. No other males tend to get in the way then. It's a complicated time for the lions. The bulls are very aggressive. But the disorder offers possibilities. A cow has become separated from her calf. The 4 subadults sense a chance, and in they go. But the mother's no pushover. Two more lionesses arrive. She could have been killed. One of the young males realizes a calf is stuck in the mud on the banks of a wallow. Its mother and other cows protect it. The first lioness returns to the attack, but the buffalo are alert and high on adrenaline. The lionesses can't breach the defense line. They have to withdraw. The adult males leave most of the hunting to the females, but often they only bring down calves. The small portions that result can lead to arguments. But the adult males can attack a fully grown buffalo. The chiefs occasionally leave their comfort zone and go after the biggest bulls. They had a fight with one of them in the night. Lorkulup's face is swollen, his nose bleeding. The bulls are still close by. They know the lions are there, but show no signs of leaving. There wouldn't be any point. They can't outrun the lions. A giant buffalo gets to his feet in the meter-high grass. He can't walk anymore. A decisive battle is imminent. A half-hearted attempt to repulse the attackers. Then things take their inevitable course. An old bull can weigh over 800 kilos. A lot to take on, even for a powerful lion like Orpadan. His 200 kilos can't drag the buffalo off balance. Lorkulup and Oloborr do their best. Olomina is out of sight as usual. A bull makes a last attempt to intervene. It's no use. Steaming with exhaustion, the veteran sinks into the grass. He won't get up again. At last, Olomina deigns to join his brothers. Suddenly, unexpected guests. The adolescent brothers arrive. They were watching from a distance, not daring to join in. Even now, they won't go straight to the carcass. Instead, they try to make themselves useful, stopping the bulls from approaching their dead companion. They're a sort of lightning conductor for the buffalo's fury, so the hunters can enjoy their kill. But Olomina gets a telling off for his inadequate support in the hunt. Now the young helpers have shown their goodwill, they can have a few morsels. It's not a generous reward, but the contact with the lords of the pride means they'll be better tolerated in the territory. Meanwhile, their sisters have left the pride's Rongai territory. They're now sexually mature and looking for partners. Their chances of taking over a territory are small. Without support from female relatives, young lionesses like these often become homeless nomads. For the time being, their mainstay will be calves. Every now and then, they'll try a bigger buffalo, but that really is difficult. They face an uncertain future. For the comparatively fertile Mara Reserve, the four brothers' 100-square-kilometer territory is rather big. But in the rainy season, they need all this space because the buffalo herds are constantly moving. Olomina and Lorkulup generally stay close to the females, living off their kills. They have little interest in long patrols and territorial clashes. After Olosiadu's disappearance, Orpadan and Oloborr take on that responsibility alone. Protecting a big territory is a challenge. They're busy almost every day, regularly checking the dense bushes on the riverbanks. They're not bothered about the leopardess, but this is exactly the sort of place where they could come across rivals. Marking a boundary seems the humblest of activities. But mature adults are heavily armed. In a fight with intruders, lives are on the line. Olomina wants nothing to do with all this. The lionesses have their own dangerous work, hunting. But Oloborr and Orpadan risk their lives every day. In May 2022, Orpadan was hit hard. He nearly died in a fight with a neighboring lion. It took a series of operations by the reserve vet to save his life. For his adversary, it was too late. Oloborr and Orpadan showed no mercy. This pair protect the territory, fight all the fights. That's the flip side of their comfortable existence. But these sudden death flare-ups can make it a short one. A few days later, Orpadan and Oloborr are back with the pride. The lionesses have brought down a buffalo. Once again, Olomina tries to approach a lioness. Orpadan, along with Oloborr, claims the biggest part of the prey. While Olomina concentrates on the mating. Difficult to know how long the other lions will let that pass. Oloborr is behaving increasingly aggressively. A few years ago, he killed his own sister. He's still stressed from his fight with the neighboring lion. Finally, Olomina's attempts to keep the lioness to himself make Oloborr explode with fury. Olomina is ever more clearly a marginal figure in the pride. Lusty roaring seems to be his only contribution to the pride's defense of its territory. His younger half-brothers, meanwhile, are keeping useful on the Buffalo Plains. Every cow who gives birth has a dilemma. The herd moves on, but she must stay till the calf is on its feet. These two subadults have become expert calf hunters. But they're no longer satisfied with these mini portions. The cow they're chasing takes too long to realize that she's the target. Tackling an adult is no longer beyond them. And they now ignore the calf. As long as those horns don't hit their target, he's safe. He's watched the adults often enough. Hold on until the buffalo is exhausted. His brother is waiting for the moment to jump in. Gripping the windpipe is the crucial move. If they don't let go now, the cow is finished. Whatever happens, he mustn't relax his hold. This is a real step forward. A kill like this will feed them for a week without danger from cows desperately protecting their calves. That night, the big brothers join the feast, eating most of the buffalo. The younger brothers are now important hunters for the pride. Their presence is especially welcome while Orpadan, the best hunter, is still nursing his wounds. It's unusual for older pride males to accept younger brothers, but in this very special pride, the relationship works for the time being. One day, the boys will have to leave. But they've strengthened the brotherhood at a critical time and helped their big brothers hold the Rongai River territory in the Masai Mara a little longer.